pasó? Porque mira, este proyecto es como ya no existe. Ah, pues, bien rapidito.
Aș propune să reluăm, dacă este toată lumea aici.
Salut, Tudor!
So I think I will start the introduction of Smiljan Radić while you are going to occupy the places. So Smiljan Radić graduated from Catholic University of Chile, the same as Cecilia. And he also undertook further studies in Venice, in UAV. And after obtaining his diploma in Chile, back in Chile, he traveled 3 years before starting his own office. I think that most of you are very familiar with his work. He has worked extensively, small houses, also public architecture. Later, or recently, he has founded Fundación de Architettura Fragil. The aim of the foundation is to promote the study and the dissemination of experimental architecture, or that of improbable reality, where the boundaries of architecture are blurred. And of course, it's an invitation to visit the website of the foundation, which is like a mirror of, in my reading, like a mirror of Smiljan Radić's architecture. Now, I wanted, as an introduction, and having in mind that, looking in the hall, I think that most of you know very well his projects, and given the, I would say, extensive publishing, which is, for me, it's very good publishing in the sense that you can stay with the projects very much and try to understand them, see the details, have the impression of space and of what light is there. Of course, it's imagination, but it's a very good material. I don't know, I think that many of you are also familiar with his texts, which are very beautiful. And in the beginning and in the introduction of Smiljan's lecture, I wanted to evoke here one text that, among many of his texts, really made a strong impression on me. And somehow this text maybe shows the mechanism indirectly of his way of thinking architecture, and I will stand corrected later. In this text called This House No Longer Exists, which is a short text about the small house, Casa Chica, Smiljan evokes a journey which he undertook for 32 days with a cargo boat, a cargo ship, from Santiago to Philadelphia, 32 days in which he read all of Vicente Huidobro's work, novels, manifestos, poems, and he did all that reading on this cargo ship next to a swimming pool, a square swimming pool in the middle of the boat. And you recall there, he says there that this swimming pool had seemingly, the seawater was very dark, and you had the impression that if you would jump in that swimming pool, you would enter the fantastic universe of the sea below. Later, months later, after having taken this journey, he visited the grave of Vicente Huidobro, where he found this phrase from one of Huidobro's last poems. At the bottom of this grave, you can see the sea. Somehow, this text was written, I think, before the small house Casa Chica became the swimming pool in Vilches. And somehow for me, all this, we discussed about words these days with Smiljan, about the word poetic, let's say magic. In his work about the associations that somehow make his projects meaningful and make them appear. This is like an echo. This text, this voyage, this coincidence, this fortuitous encounter is like a meeting, an echo of his architecture. And in this context, and having said that, Smiljan, I invite you to the stage to present your work. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thanks Stefan, Irina, for inviting me and invite Cecilia. It's really amazing to be here. It's really weird, you know, so far away. And but it's a conference for me. Always very difficult. I'm not really good speaker, but because my thoughts in Spanish are really bad and in English are most bad, you know, and I'm really confused sometimes. But because that, I try to, when I was thinking about in this conference, I have to try to find a structure, and in particular, I would like to talk of some words, you know. I used to explain my projects, not just the project that I will show you, but I think most of them maybe you don't know. It's could be helpful to have a conversation after, you know. It's just to give some structure to the conference. But you could review all of my works around this, maybe read these few words, you know. The words like reference, like swollen body, like condensation, like collage, ruination, ugliness, repair, place, or maybe site is best. In recent years, I could not build so much compared what I'd expected to do it. You know, always this is architecture. You are really want to do it more than you could do it. You know, but this feeling of lack gets stronger if I believe that only a few things that I do are really architects. You know, are really architecture works. You know, and that feeling, it's important because I will show you a range of projects that some of them are building it, another are ongoing, another are aborted, etc. And the scale are really different because I want to go ahead around these words, you know. And I have to move with 2 points and with 2 things, and it's. But let's go to review some words. It's not. Oh, yeah. Oh, the word reference is maybe it's the most important word, and you could find this word on all my works, you know. For my cultural knowledge, use reference is to connect me and my work with others at once, you know, people who was before me and who has some relation, or I expect to have some relation with them. And it's always about to be part of the history of architecture. You have to think you are talking with someone who came from Chile, not here in Europe. It's something that is far away from here. After years of practice, we achieved that For me, it's a kind of closeness with this open world that normally is around my desk, you know, just with images, images of many things and strange things and really architecture things, but objects and that kind of things, that kind of things, you know. But as Raúl Ruiz said in some moment, he said it's no longer about reference or images from the past. It's about questioning our ideas about past and about present. It's just to try to understand what are you doing at the end, you know. Here, in this image, that is the reference for the first project that I will show you, you have the 5 cities of Superstudio. Maybe some of the students who are here, many of you, this is really famous images, you know, and you know what happened on it, you know. This picture, this image came to my mind when I received the first images of the island of Krk, near to Bačka in Croatia, that we have to do an installation with Marcela Correa in the 2020 or something like that. Here you could see the 5 cities of Superstudio. The important thing of this image is the immateriality of these spheres that you could see on the image is connected to the minds, and this is really important, it's connected to the minds of the sleeper who live forever under this sarcophagi of the crystal lake, if you see. Mean, if they live forever, that means there's not death in this city, and because that, there is no nature. And that is really important. And these sleepers just live on the sarcophagi and under these transparent slabs that show the sky. The installation called Drops near Bačka, Krk, Croatia, in collaboration with, I said, Marcela Correa, aims to keep intact the site, you know, where they give us to do it something because Rijeka was the cultural capital in 2020 for the European community. And they asked to do something, you know, and they asked to do a tower. And when we saw this beautiful landscape, you know, I started to thinking about Superstudio immediately, and it was really not clear to do a tower, because if you go high 20 meters, you are going to see the same, you know, just sea and just island around you. And then it's not important to be there. The important thing is to be calm and sweet with the landscape. The immaterial aspect of this Superstudio sphere and the crystal sarcophagi city transform them into a new nature without death, transform them in a synthetic natural artifact. We wanted to connect our intervention to this idea, the idea of to have some issues of synthetic natural artifact, to create this kind of in the midst of the nature, okay? And because that, we create, we did 2 drops, glass of solid drops. You could not arrive to this place. This is a place, you know, here is the spring water, here are the 2 drops that we installed, set up there, and this is a pen sheet span, you know, there for stone walls. You know, you could not arrive to the place by car or whatever. You have to go there by trekking, and we decided to put the 2 drops by solid glass of 300 kilograms each one, and to have a tension in between them in the middle of the nature. Then this is the process of construction. I mean, the process to build this solid glass is more or less 6 months. 6 months, and on the other side you have Mr. Fuller to review the transport, you know, and then the important thing is is not to touch the terrain and to be calm when someone asks you to do something with some place, you know. Sometimes we found unknown buildings made by strangers in difficult outdoors locations. They took a lot of physical effort to create, but they looked easily placed as natural synthetic artifact, and that we want to do it. And this is a place, you know, the spring. Here's one. Here's one of them. One of the drops. The other drops is like. Sorry. Here you have the two drops. Then it's difficult to find that, but the important thing is when you are there, you feel a tension in between them. And the other things that you could feel, it's a sensation of immateriality. And I mean, it's to try to do a render of the reality and to be there just to saying we are here, but we are really not, you know. And that was the project. That's it. Just to have a sign in the middle of the landscape. Then, in this case, the reference is about materiality, no more than this, or maybe about immateriality. What you could traduce an idea of an image in reality. Another project of reference that is really explicit, it's about London Sky. London Sky we work for Alexander McQueen for many years. You know, many years mean 5 years. That in fashion, you know, in fashion culture is a lot of time. But in a conversation with Sarah Burton, they want to bring Alexander McQueen brand again to London because they didn't do it in more than 12 years, you know, and asked us to do a pavilion or something. And on the conversation was obviously to set up them in a beautiful gardens, I mean, in a beautiful park, Kensington Park, but in a moment, she said maybe on a roof. And when she said a roof, I started to say, okay, let's go to put in a roof, because the name of the project is London Sky, and I want to do it. And at the same moment appear this image that is really smart by Jan Kaplicki. It's an image that if you see, it sounds really funny, but it was the late 60s, you know, and Jan Kaplicki do it for the Richard Rogers studio. And what he's saying here, you know, he's saying you have a past structure that's mean columns, slabs, and articulation in between them, just really articulated structure, really normal. And then on the top, and this is the past, and we are going to put the present future. And the present future is about a monoblock shell linked to the Beetle car, you know. And the monoblock is just how you say, linked to the installation, etc., etc. But he is comparing two kinds of a structure, and this, when you use a reference, you have to be really explicit. You have to recognize the origins of the show, of the project in that images. And in September of 2021, after a month of design and 2 months of production, we installed a London Sky, a simple pavilion made of an inflatable structure with crystal PVC and a irregular mesh of ropes to prevent the surface to stress on the bubble. Okay, and we did this one. Sorry, with this was the pavilion at the end. You know, this is the plastic. In 1 month, you could not do it too much about that, but at the end we put these ropes around it because we have to retain the structure as to prevent the stresses of the membranes. You know, it looks similar to what happened in Fry Otto's bubbles, you know, and there, or in an old parachute where the forces come together of a hanging center. And that is really important because all the forces coming down. What we do, it's yeah, here's the structure, if you want, of the shell. It's a little bit stupid if you want to, because when you blow, you know, a cupola or whatever that you want a lot of air around you and free air without the structure. But this structure came with the ropes on these cables that go into the things. But the beautiful thing that is really similar to some columns of Shinohara, for example, that you feel there is some tension between the center of this cupola, of this bubble, with the floor, and then you feel a sensation of floating in the middle of the space. It's really difficult to explain, but occur. And then this is the setup. Oh, sorry. This is the setup in the middle of a parking plot. You know, you could arrive until to the 5th floor by car, and then you go up to the bubble, and then. This is the image by Jan Kaplicki, the standard building on the bottom and the new old at the end, and the new structure of one shell on the top. Okay. Here you could see many pictures about this. London sky. Here. This is more or less was for 300 people, 250 people. And this is the beautiful sea of London through the cupola. This is the structure. It's really simple. Then for me in this project, the problem was structurally. You know, how I could represent the Kaplicki's idea. And at the same time, I could say I want to reuse this pavilion in many places. For me, was a really amazing things because I want to reproduce in London, in New York, in Paris, etc., and use another roof to do it. You know, we didn't. We bring to New York, but we could not. We could not do it in New York because they want to test the materials and we don't have time, etc. But it's important to have the idea of a circus, you know, where this beautiful structure that I repeated a lot in my work are really present, not maybe literally, but just to be present like a model, you know, of a simplicity. But after 1 year, we do it we move the structure to the old Royal Naval College in London, where the Greenwich Meridian Pass, and I was very excited to see the same structure in another absolutely different context. And this is not happen really often for architecture, you know. They are really, they are not really common that you could move it. It's gonna happen in my pavilion in Serpentine Gallery because they move it to Hauser and Wirth near to London too, and it was another impressive image that I received from there when I see in this new setup. And this is a view of the pavilion, the interior that it's absolutely different than the other one, with the buildings near. And this is George II washing inside. What happened? You know, it's really. And this is another reference project that we could go fast. It's about, we call it Errand Body. You know, it's another pavilion for Alexander McQueen that we never built. And it connects to Jan Kaplicki's work again. You know, the pavilion gives you the chance to test your mind. The project needs to be fast and effective and allowing you to work within the limits of some kind of uncertainty. And this project is just a lens, of a lens that is floating, but the idea of the crane and the mobile architecture is really present of the Caplica's work. And then we made a setup that just the structure is about crane, that the engineer, English engineer doesn't want to do it. And the other ones was by all the stuff is on these tracks, and then the lens is there. And the project is really simple, but we never built. It's about this. And then the important things we use ETFE, that is a transfer membrane on the bottom, and a PTFE, that is white one on the bottom, on the top. And then when you are inside of this volume, you will see a cupola, but from outside you will see just a volume, And next, this is from outside, and from inside outside. Working with reference allows you to feel in dialogue with others, as I said before, enable to be a kind of guest of architecture. And that is, for me, it's really important to be part of something, more than a global situation, more than a local one. At the Den Haag Kunstmuseum, choose Marcela Correa and me to join a small contest to design a permanent pavilion, in a forgotten corner behind the museum, and the museum called it Secret Garden, this pavilion. We won the contest and we developed the project, but it was never built, because the director moved to other museums at that time. But this museum has part of the constant archive that you could see on the image. Constant is part of our collection, Fundación de Arquitectura Frágil, and we started our collection with his drawings, many years ago, maybe 18 or 20 years ago, and some drawings by the Sweetersenist movement. We are very excited about it because Constant is one of our heroes, and we start to work with his work, And Constant thought New Babylon as a dynamic labyrinth, where every structure is always shifting and changing. He presented this idea in many document text, drawings, and paintings, and we proposed not to create a dynamic labyrinth that is really complicated, but to capture, and this is really important, an instantaneous and a static image of what Constant proposed. Our pavilion should be a three-dimensional photo of the constant atmosphere. More than other, it's like a model scale 1 by 1, but static, not moving, as must to be. You can see in this image, you can see in this image, as well as in the image of the physical models we have of New Babylon, yellow area. You could see a fragile scaffolding of lines and panels with no defined spaces, random geometry, and forms taken from other places. And this is really important for the way to abort the project. Not creative forms, not created from scratch. There is a translucent light that is not reflected in these images, and models built from found objects and a structure to create complex shape. Constant always work with some shapes that he got from other places and put on the project. And then create complex forms are really difficult for everybody, and it's really difficult for me. And then we just, with Marcela, thought again to try to do it with taking complex shape from cotton patterns, We create a catalog of shape based of cutting patterns, They are much better than the shapes that I could do it, and then you could choose what you want. We tested 5 or 6 of them to find the right complicity of a space needed for the securing pattern. At the end, we choose that one, on the top, and we use this shape just to create a complex space that we think could be part of the atmosphere by constant, Then the project is on the corner. You have to get the space, the place, the secret garden through the bathrooms, and that is, for us, it was really amazing place because you have to pass through the bathrooms and then get the garden, and here you have the pavilion. This is the pavilion. What we do? We do a structure, the stainless steel columns, 20 millimeters thick, anchored to the ground with foundation screws, without damage and without hard foundations, real. And the floor is grass, and these columns have some acrylic panels and ceiling of acrylic and polycarbonate mirror on the top and on the panels. And then you have a translucent lights, The floor is grass, and the area is surrounded by vegetation, tall more or less about 2 meters high, And then that gives you an isolated of the space. This is the plan. The red point are the columns, and the red lines are the shape that is coming from the cutting patterns, and we complex everything. This is the section. The light is coming from the ceiling, through the ceiling. And then it's a light, red light, And this is the pavilion that you never know where is the limits of. And for us, it was really amazing to think that we could not control the space at all. You see the grass, the vegetation around it, and these are another view. Another view. That's the beautiful of the view. That's all, more or less, all of them. Means the same, It's like in a labyrinth, All of the view are more or less the same. There are differences, but at the end they are really same. And this is the lighting. Okay, another word. Sorry. Okay, condensation. A medieval bestiary, something that I studied years ago, is a collection of fantastic animals. It is a group that feeds on condensations. A condensation is a unique image, like the image that you are seeing, that represent several related ideas at the point where they cross, either as a crossing point or a union. For example, this image, a lion and an eagle enlarged 8 times and drawing correctly, and this is really important, drawing correctly, can create a fabulous griffon with special powers. Means there is a text around this image. It is a text to explain what that means. Depending on how the parts of the original animals cross, a new whole appears without invisible joints, and this is really important. Normally, the condensation doesn't have a visible joints in between the parts. You never know where they end and where they not. And then this project we call Marraqueta projects. It's a shelter, and it's a condensation project. A private foundation asked me to create a refuge that can be built in a high mountains of Chile. I would like to, it is like a raft to protect 6 people during the storms. The first was supposed to be installed in Torres del Paine, but the government did not accept our project, because it doesn't look like a traditional refuge. Which means a small house, Our project, the image of Marraqueta shelter, comes from a condensation of a primitive raft that I will I will tell you what's that mean. Are primitive rafts used by the whale fishing people of Changos culture in our country, and another structure that I will show you. But the raft is here, and this is a blow raft, you know, it's blowing. But the special thing of this, here is the floating, you know, it's a section, but here the owner of this raft have to do the raft with 4 lions, sea lions. And then they shoot it to 4 lions, they cut it in the middle and they joint. And they have a raft with a structure on the top where the people go to fishing whales. You know, we are talking about 1,300 until the last of this raft was building in the 1965. An archaeologist asked to the last people who know how to do it, and the craftsman asked to the archaeologist ask a sneaker. You know, because they work. And then it's really important to have the idea of to be alone in a raft. And this structure is really important for me. That's coming to the condensation in the project. And then the other structure that I love is this structure. It's a marraqueta bread. It's a typical Chilean bread, you know, and it's really beautiful the way that you build. That's just 2 balls together, and then they joint and they put this line of structure on the swing. It's not just physical, it's formal, and it's the way you cut the bread. And then it's the way you could cut and put and to share with others, you know. And then this was our first model. And then in this model, there are 2 things really important. One is the idea of monoblock, of the idea of to have a capsule in the middle of the landscape. And the other one is not to touch the terrain, just because it's granite, because it's difficult to have foundation, and because you don't want to do it because there's snow and you want to keep far away from the sky. And this was our first model, you know. And then this is how we want to build, you know. It's just the structure, the foundation structure. Then you put on the top this element that is an industrial rubber bag for water tank. And then you put this, you blow in, you put fiberglass, you take out the rubber bag, and you cut it all these things on pieces, and you transport to the place. Sounds easy, it's not really easy, but I think it's gonna work, I think. And these are the details. I think right now seeing, they are a little bit complex and we have to resolve in another way, but they're still working, you know. And this is the capsule that we want to put on the national parks in Chile. You have to imagine people doing trekking in summer, and they got some storm, and that is the capsule that I proposed. These are the windows, you know, where you could see, and this is the real place where the capsule have to be. This is a David Green model, you know, the name is Living Pot. I think it's ended of 60s. It's really beautiful, the idea to have a pot, not just traveling in a space, just traveling on time. And this is Living Pot in the middle of the rooms, you know. And we made an homage to David Green, and we put our Marraqueta project in the middle of the Carcere di Invenzione, the Piranesi, and we put David Green with Piranesi on the top, and we put some Bruegel structure here on the top and our pot. And this means condensation, you know, to have many images in one point. Next. Swollen body. Swollen body are those that need more than themselves, are forms, some shapes, some objects that they need more than themselves, and they start to overflowing with flesh, overflowing with gluten, or fill it with earth, or swollen by gases, sometimes gases of death. You know, the swollen bodies are really interest me, because in the inside of this kind of this is in Birmania. I love it, because if you are inside, you never know where you could not measure in so good the space. And then it's really amazing to be inside of this kind of structure, because you really are outside of your own place. This is the Bruegel, absolutely this kind of structure. It's part of this category includes this flying seal crossing diagonal on the fold of rebel angels, you know, that we are working right now for an exhibition in Santiago, but the next year, I hope. We are working on it with some collage objects, you know, with pneumatic leather and polyethylene bubble. And then this is a project for, we intervene in a public gallery in Santiago, expanding its volume on the main street with a mylar membrane. You know, it's about to and we expanded the public gallery into the space, and it was really amazing, because at that time it was ending the protest that was really heavy in Santiago, and we started to take again the public space again. On this kind of imagine you could find in the 60s, for example, Haus Rucker CO made in a public building, really beautiful, floating on the space, but we just blowing inside of this and disappear on the public space. We take out the showcases and the windows to the street, and we just put it inside, and we expanded the space of the gallery to outside. Then the inside the space is really it's really unshaped. It's informal, and of course the curator have a lot of problem with the art, you know, inside, because it's not really easy to set up things there. But it's a problem of the curator, not mine. And but it's really beautiful. I think it's and this was the beginning of another project that it started with a lot of. I mean, you could find this bubble along the history of architecture, for the radical architecture in many places, you know. Here you have, of course, Andy Warhol, but Art Farm is there. It's just really simple to do it. The Biennale in 2023 asked us to do it a pavilion, and they are seeing they are in mind the pavilion in London Sky, and that pavilion is so expensive because it's a really conservative. It's really formal building, if you want. You have security, you have fire protection, you have escaping. Everything is like a normal, and they want to do it. And then you have a structural design. You have many others things that you have to be on if you want to build in London. You know, when they asked me to do something, I said maybe because it's the Biennale of Architecture. I said maybe you have to rent 2 circus, and that's gonna be really beautiful to be the Biennale of Architecture in a circus. And they don't approve because they feel architects is more serious than a circus. And then they said no, but the structure of a circus is absolutely beautiful. And then they want a cool pavilion, and we made this. We made the pavilion in 1.5 months. There are no plans, just sketches in notebooks like this. This is the last one. No engineering calculation, just experience. I mean, some experience. No tested materials on their own. You know, we did free test before to set up in the place, but all of the tested was failed. You know, it was the membrane was crushed, and only the successful tested was when we set up on the place. You know, and the place that the place that they choose, you know, it's here. It's in front of the Palace of Government in Chile. And it's the institution, you know. It's really, here is the government, here is the president, and they asked us to put his there. And we start to talk about institution. What's mean to put this ugly, what the people call guatero. Guatero is a rubber for heating water on the bed, you know, when you are cold in the winter, and we put this in front of the and this is the view. This is the plan that we did after the construction, you know, and here you have the foundations are these. That again are rubber tank, you know, with 1 ton each. We have 14 tons, just keeping the structure on by these cords that cross around it. Last Ad Farm do it, and this is a section that it was. This could be more curved or less, depending on the pressure of these here. Of these elements, that there are 8, you know, ventilators, domestic ventilator. With 6 you are okay. With 8 you have some protection for the wind, because here this structure is resist until 40 kilometers per hour. You know, if there are more than 40 kilometers per hour, we have to blow out, to deflate it. Well, this is the view. The material is a mylar. The name is global foil. It's a mylar with it's a 3-layer membranes that they never use it for this membrane because it's not for that. You know, they use it for insulation. Some buildings, the cars on the parkings too, and we did it's this mylar bubble plastic and mylar on the bottom too. This is the joint. The joint is with the scotch. 5 layers of scotch, and one of them is just with fiberglass, you know, to prevent the cutting. But it's really, really fragile. And this is the door. It's not rolling door like in London, you know. You have to have 5 doors of escape in London. Here you have one like this. Sometimes on the process, there are some beautiful idea which is coming, you know, and that is one of the tests that the structure followed on the countryside. But it's really amazing, and the lines of light is because the gap in between the scotch, you know. I have to go faster. I mean, the other thing is important. It's not the layout of the people. It's not like this. It's not one point of view. We want a lot of point of view that the people could be around of some TV, of some iPad, big iPad, you know, like in a living room. And then they sit down in some chairs, and at the same time, you don't have to see the speaker, you know. I prefer to see image than the speaker. And then we set up everything in a random space. Okay, collage. I'm saying before that from the condensation, the limits of the things that you put together, they are really must be unclear. You know, they are really you don't have to perceive. But in a collage, it's absolutely the same. The contrary. You have to resolve the object, knowing where is always. If you see a collage, you always know about the limits of the different shapes that are included on it. Could be painted, could be like this, an artifact or whatever, you know. And then it's really important, but collage is it's one of the most things that most strategy that I do it. But for example, in this case, maybe you know this project, I'm gonna pass really fast. You have to put together this neoclassical facade that is really fake because it was made in 1940, and it was an immobiliarium project, and this plot is gonna get fire, and then we made an interior space, you know, and we maintain the facade as it was, you know, because I don't want to have problems with the neighborhoods. I don't care to be architect on the inside, on the outside, and we maintain the facade as it was. And it was, but together with that, we create a new space inside where everything is hanging from the ceiling, a concrete structure, and then everything to keep the floor just free. On the top, we bought a circus, a familiar circus, really poor, and we put on the terrace, you know, because we could not build on the terrace, but we could put a circus. And then, because it's ephemeral, you know, something, and then the local government said, yes, it's no problem, and the circus is still there, you know, fixed on that. But if someone told you you could do a project with a circus, with a neoclassical facade, fake one, and an interior space, it's not really easy to think from scratch. But when you really found these objects around you, it's more easy. It's not, you don't have to do too much effort, you know. And this is the space inside. It's for performance space. It's for dance and performance. And these are some of the performance. And these are the trip to the terrace. And this is a circus on the terrace. You know, this circus is in the middle of the city, and that is really amazing in a second floor. Again, in all of this project, you need some kind of strangeness to feel, to produce emotion with people, you know. And another word is ruination. Ruination means, in some projects, it's about capturing more air with the same budget. And this is important in Chile, in my way to think it, you know. This action leads to stripping down the project, to leaving it bare, you know, to really naked the project, just to give structure and no more than this, and to give you the sensation that you have to think the architecture like an infrastructure, where the images of the building matches exactly with the material that supports it. And this is kind of naked. It's really important. This idea becomes clear in many buildings when they go through a process of ruin. That is really normal when they start to crumble, you know, as this moment. For this project, precise drawings are needed. And this is really important. For this project are more important the engineering drawings more than the architect's one, where the bar or the naked architect appear, you know. And then the first project that I used this idea with Eduardo Castillo and Gabriela Medrano was here in the Bio Bio Theater. Maybe, you know this project. I'm gonna be fast. It's just a structure of wood and more, but concrete and wood. And we just do this structure all around just to have a lot of earth, just to broken the idea of domestic space of the institution that you have always when you go to the public institution in Chile. We need more earth to change the scale of the public spaces. And then we made this structure by concrete, and we put we hidden the structure by a PTFE membrane. They are not double facade, it's just a single facade, and just this is the whole, you know. These are the trip around the hole, and the big hole for the spectacle, you know. And this is the lightness of the building. At the same time, it's important because this, it's in the middle of, behind the river, you know, and behind the river you need, the Biobío is the most largest river that we have in Chile, and then the scale of the neighborhoods is really important, as I show you in the first view. Again, another project that is just matches the structure, the appearance, matches with the naked concept structure is this project. The name is in Matarrania. The name is Solo Hotel. I hope this week is gonna tell me if it's going, because they are getting the permission for the local government. But this project comes from idea of primitive shape in a territory. That is this one, you know, and where an African community, for example, in this case, can survive by surrounding and isolating itself in a hostile nature, you know, environment. And then this is in a village which has the volume, and these are some walls around it. This kind of layout you could find in the north of Chile, you could find in Easter Island too, I mean in many places, but the idea is to be isolated from the nature. And what we did, when we start with the project, it's coming this beautiful image of the film A Matter of Life and Death by Michael Powell. That is the view of the paradise, you know. And it came these rooms. We did is really simple. We put a slab that could isolate the part of urban camping people, you know, like a urban space, an area that extended a lot. And on this slab, just 50 centimeters in some moments, just on the ground, floating on the ground, we put a slab that is really permeable. It's not really fixed the limits. It's just to overlap with the ground, you know. And on this space we put some rooms, you know. These two images came to me when I saw some pieces of wood that I found in Marcela Correa's works, you know. And these are the plastic that use these pieces of wood. I gave them a scale, you know, and I use it later as a found shape. This is at the end. I could not explain. It's really easy to understand. It's a slab with rooms, you know. It's not more than this, and you have. This is the organization on the ground. This is some images of the colors and some drawings that I did for the clients. And this is one of the final models. The red one is the swimming pool. That is a bowl that is at the same time is a cupola it's a cupola down on the bottom. It's a cupola for the restaurant. And then here is and this is the way to occupy the ground, you know. These are the rooms. The rooms are just glass with ring mesh and with a mattress wall inside. And this is the entrance for the cars. This is the entrance for the people, the ramp to go up to this swimming pool. That is the orange one, like a lake in the north of Chile, between Chile and Bolivia, I think. And this is the rooms. Theater. And where the slab is going through the space, you know, and floating in the middle of the landscape. And this is the cupola of the restaurant. It's really amazing because I working here with, Buffrau, Robert Buffrau is the engineer by Enrique Miralles, another hero of us. You know, it's really amazing because I could have some, you know, meeting with him and Miquel Mirané, and it's amazing for me to work with old engineers because they know a lot and they they really, really wants to do the things, you know. It's amazing place. This is another project. I will go fast, I think, I'm sorry. The name of this project, the name of this project is Building Lee. It's a immobiliarian building that we have right now 4 apartments there, and on the bottom there is a space for the Fundación de Architettura Frágil. And again, it's the mash between the structure, naked structure, it's just concrete with glass, and that's it. It's some curtain from outside, and that's it, the project. There's no more than this. I mean, the idea is to have the furniture inside with a lot of character floating in the middle of a space. I'm saying it's really, if you are really want to be worried about the ecologies or whatever, it's not about the materials, it's about the space. If you have good space, good air, if you have something that could be durable, and you will have a real, and you have a beautiful space, you have a long time to use these things. And then I think it's really important for me to be really exactly about these kind of ideas, because here you have a structure really rigid, it's not really flexible, but at the end you have a good air inside, and then you could lay out this in many things, in many ways, you know. And this is the model of the project. The importance of the project is just to show what's happening inside and what we are buying to, you know, there is Miralles, you know, there, and then it's important to have the furniture floating on this space, just to in a random way, you know. When we did it, it was really important. Well, this is the plan. It's not. The building has 2 staircases, in the sense that we could divide the project in two zones, you know. Could be 2 apartments, like here and here, with each one with his own entry. And at the same time, you could have 1 apartment like this, or one apartment in the bottom place. And then these 2 staircases, that is strange, give a lot of flexibility to the building. And this is the upper floor, the terrace. The section, well, again, and this is the floor. This is the building, you know. On the upper level, on the terrace, we bring 60 centimeters of earth, real ones, from 300 kilometers from far away from there, because we want to have the same vegetation that we have in our countryside place. And then we said, let's go to bring the earth and just wait what happened. And it's appeared this beautiful garden that is really wild. A lot of, and we don't have to care about it, because they always growing up in different things. We are there for 1.5 years, and maybe we have 2 or 3 landscapes really different in the same place, just because the vegetation fight in between them, you know. It's really beautiful to see the nature fighting, you know, the plants fighting each together. Not just a woman idea that's to be really calm with the other because they could mix it. No, in this we put the earth and they growing up, and that was really, really beautiful, because you always go up, you find another kind of thinking. And on the levels that on the bottom, you could find this kind of random layout. You know, this is you know, it's a layout that we create from Alexander McQueen's stores, that we did 40 stores around the world for them, and we call this we call domestic labyrinth. It's a labyrinth. I mean, you could put really random pieces of art, pieces of fashion objects, or pieces of architecture and furniture to get, and the clients. The clients could do a trip around this really random. They don't have showcases, and then they don't have back or in front. And we invented this for the clients, and it was really successful in some. And the result is this kind of a space, you know, where any object inside, they are really, really amazing, floating on the space like here, you know. But always you feel they could move it a little, and you could feel free to go ahead in a random way. Again, we apply this to this apartment on the top, the same way, you know, the image, the pictures floating on the space, and then you have all around us, you have this ring mesh. The ring mesh, the thing is, you are inside in a tent, you know, you feel the closeness of the city that I love it. I love to be in a urban space in our apartment, you know, not to be isolated. And then it's really amazing. And each thing has his own character, has to be alone. And this is the part of the foundation of Architettura Frágil. This is the, you know, Luciano Fabro, you could have there. This is Aldo Rossi with Constant living together. That it's really strange, I think, but they are living with calm. Gordon Mata Clark, the table is BBPR. I mean, for us, it's just to try to come here, to come to our foundation, young people. We did some seminars, and that was so successful this year, but we are just on the beginning. This is one of the curtains that made him by a friend of us. And this is the view of the really close building on the morning, afternoon, and by night. I call this pretty ugliness. The second idea is, this is the second idea just related to ruination. It's the feeling of pretty ugliness, you know. I think ugliness allows others to easily take over the space, you know. The ugliness permits others to take your space and to feel free to feel inside to the empty areas. And it's more or less is the theory behind the Domino's house, you know. Not with these words, but it's more or less that. But the important thing is in this way is the ugliness becomes a place for experimentation. And you could see here, it's a really beautiful tower water. And you never know how they want to build this tower, because the articulation in between the things, you know, these kind of things are always different, and you never know what was in the mind of the engineering to do these kind of things. And the foundation are really, but the total, this articulation is really, really amazing for me, because it's something that I could not do it in practice, you know, I could not think in that way. And it was a big challenge. I would like to buy this tower, but I could not, you know, to bring to other places, because I feel they're a real beautiful place, you know. And this is probably really difficult to show you, but here you have the facade. The real facade is going to be like this of the project that I will show you. The client said a restaurant, but it's not going to be a restaurant. It's going to be the important thing that in between two houses, this client have two houses in the space in between. He put a lot of this kind of structure, really ugly. It's just garbage. And when they say to do something new, I say no. Let's go to bring this garbage to the space, you know. And then we could feel what happened with that. And I say that because I feel this garbage structure have a lot of presence. I have a real beautiful, pretty ugliness inside. And this is under construction, but it's not, it's the final process, you know. It's not going to be more. This is the model, you know. But the model is just what it is there. We didn't do so much. We just did this in a slab. This is the maximum thing that we are going to do, on a slab of green concrete. That the green is really ugly, that we found in some walls and of the building, of the existing building. And when we choose that, because we want to go to the limits of this kind of thing. And the lighting is coming from outside with a mast, you know, and is going through the ceiling, through some skylight that we are going to do. And this is the last issue. We did this. We did a scanner of the place. We try to understand this as a rune, as a new rune, as something that you have to take care about it, as a fragile construction. That I love it. And then we have all of the exactly places where the things are. And if we modify this on the construction, we are going to have to go ahead and replace in exactly the same place. Again, okay, to repair. Repairing and restoring, something that Cecilia knows really good, are really different actions, you know. Repairing, for me, means to manipulate or to push a common object, something that you could find in any place, to its capacity for being in the present and be present, both. And not because it has a memorable past. I don't care about that. I want to push the object to the future. You have to know how to help the object to survive, thinking it is in its future and not trying to understand its past. Repair, is make wood, you know, and that is the point. And this project, it's about the Chanchera project, 2020. It's part of a family of beautiful small Chilean rural sheds. The real value right now of this building is the wood as a material that some eco-architects recycling piece by piece. Normally, the architect wants to recycle this structure, and they just take the wood as a material to put in a way in the new buildings, you know. But finally, we lost the building, you know, and that is the important. More than the material, the important thing is the building. It's not the material. Our fragile knowledge of how to build things, you know, and because we are not have a big history about this kind of thing. And then this is a pig farmhouse, you know, of 120 years old, you know. It's really fragile. The thickness of the columns are 12 by 12 centimeters, and then they are really, really small. And they think that it was really important for us that these columns are just going to the earth directly without foundation. And then all the structure was really damaged, and the building has a pendants, you know. And all of this structure, like in Komura Satai view, all of these columns are really, really damaged on site. And then we have the reference of other of our projects working with the same kind of structure, and that you show in some of the views. And then again, we made a scanner of the building. We made a scanner of that. And what was our idea is just to move the structure. It is a house, you know, because the client told me that he wants a house of new, and I said, I was really tired about the houses, and I said, let's go to buy a shell, and he said, okay, and we bought this pig farmhouse, you know. And the beautiful thing of this is that we cut the structure here, and we move all of the structure to the place, to the new place. It's just 30 kilometers from there. And here is the cutting where the structure is damaged. And what we did, this is again the accurate plans of the 16 building. For us, it's really important to have a report, not about the fragile construction, you know. Not it is because it's going to be in the same, the thing is going to be in the same way, just moving for the time. It's because it's important to have a report. It's just because the drawings and the models, etc. And these are the models of the existing building. And what we do, we stand up the building. We said, okay, we have to help this building to go ahead for years. And what we do, we replace, here you have some pieces, you know, and we replace all of the pieces that was by wood, we replace for concrete. But concrete 12 by 12, the same size of the existing building. And when the columns, it doesn't exist, we put just new ones, but in the same section by concrete. In Chile, after the earthquake, you could not do it something 20 by less than 20 by 20, but it doesn't matter. It's illegal, but you know, you could do it. Here's the plan. The plan is really easy to understand. It's one space with bedrooms, and on the top, on the first floor, there's some bedrooms too, and that's it. And this, the important things here is this detail, that there's a thin ceiling here, it's going through. And then when you see the house from outside, you feel it's really fragile, but at the end has a lot of insulation, and you see the same team from outside and from inside. And then you feel you are in just a thin house, but it's not true. These are some sketches that I present to the clients. They didn't understand too much, but it's easy to see. And these are, you could see the columns by concrete, how they got the existing building, you know. And this is because, you know, not all of them are different, because all of them was damaged in different place, were damaged in the different place. The view. First floor, and this is a house, you know. There is a winter garden in one side with polycarbonate, and you have the guest house, this pavilion here from there, red one, and here the winter garden again, and here is from one side and to the other side. And it was, it's really similar to a house by Shinohara that I love it, this kind of things, but the panels is more or less, these panels is, again, are 12 centimeters wide. It's really thin again. Okay. This is the last word, I think. It is important. I'm going to show really fast 3 projects that it's about place, and reality is about site, you know. The place is a portion of a space in a specific social setting. The site is something that is more specific, that sometimes constrains you to do the things in some way, really specific. And this is the case that I will show you. And for me, the sites are really important because I have to go to some places really far away from Chile, and I have to be with the client in 1 day, 2 days, you know, and just at the same time that I have to be really friendly with the clients to get the job. I have to see something that happened on the surroundings of the place and on the site. And there are 2 days or 3 days really stressed for me, because you have to understand what happened around you. And this is the place in Brač in Croatia, near to the beach ball. It's really amazing place. This is a woman monastery. This place is more or less, 20 kilometers from where my grandfather came to Chile in 1919. It's really important for me to do something here, but it's a really difficult place because you have many regulations. This was Brač in 1960. And this is the place. What we did, We did a lot of things, but what is important about the place, that we use just the upper of the place. We could use more things, you know, but we use just things because we want to maintain the microclimate around the monastery, the woman monastery, you know. The microclimate in this case means to maintain this kind of vegetation and stone walls, etc., and to touch the less is possible. And you have the client in one thing, you have the client that they want 25 rooms, and you have the monastery from the other side. Let me see. Oh, these are, well, it doesn't matter, some drawings about the space. And what we have this space, all of this space just to build in it. All of this, okay? And I refuse to build here. I just say, I want to do something here, on the top of this hill. And then to push the project as far away from this model and to give another kind of scale on the project. And then it's this, because what? Because the microclimate, I mean the surroundings, that is really important for this monastery that it was here, it was this, all of this terrace, you know. And we push a lot of, as much as we could, you know. And then we do two kind of trips, this, like this, you know, just around the monastery and go up. And this about something that reclaims something about the quarry. But on the top of this sidewalks, we put a wood structure building. Why? Because I like so much the way that Piccionis took the land, the ground near to the Acropolis, and then say that it's a good way to understand what happened here with the monastery, and what it's going to be with our project. And then the project is really simple, you know. It's a linear project. It's with some step, it's with some. With many buildings, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, the corridor are there, and this is the quarry of stone, you know, that go there. And this is going to be seeing the roof of the other. They are not a terrace building, you know. And what we did at the end, I could show you this. This is the plastic. The model of the things. Here's the monastery and the space, and this is the surrounding of the monastery. Around here they have vineyards, and this is the clean bin building. And this is the roof, the view of the swimming pool on the top. There's a building of concrete too. And some guys, really, really brilliant, give me a really beautiful, you know, views of the project. But I hate them, you know, because they are so precisely. And then I got the iPhone and move a little bit the views, you know. And then we got this kind of a relation with the monastery and with the volumes. Again, another project that's in Bahrain. It is important. It's the thing that you could see here is a burial mound. In Bahrain you have these enormous spaces of burial mounds. You know, it's an incredible space, but it's not about the space. It's about to understand that you are walking. You could walk around many dead people, you know. You have a lot of people just sleeping here, similar to the super studio ones, you know. It's a real super studio work, you know. They ask us to participate in a contest where they give us this terrain. They could not touch the ground, and you are really constrained because the site, you know, because the shape of the site. And what we did is just to be constrained, and we did this. This is the site, you know. the limit of the site, and we made this interior space, and we put a cupola who jump in between the supports, and with another volume in there that is aluminum volume that is floating on this space. What is the important? That if we go up to this cupola is here and it's floating, and then you feel it, when you have a side museum, you need the surroundings come into the museum, and we try to do it with this cupola to have a really shadow interior, but with this reflection of the interior of the exterior space, you know, but the shape and the forms of the interior space coming from the side, not from other spaces, you know. These are the trip that you could do it around it, 40 minutes and 10 minutes around the structure, and then we mark this with a ceramic balls, you know, that you could recognize, like the real sidewalk. And then this is a project. It's really simple. It's just how not to touch too much the site, you know. And then this is the interior space, and this is the part of the mounts, burial mounts here, and this is the other part of the site that we could escape with this volume for the archive and others. You know. And here in the section, you could see the overlap between the landscape and the space inside. It's a really flat cupola, and I think it's going to be a lot of problems with the structure because the forces on behind is going to be really. But what we want to do it is this and this. You know, this is the ideas to have these calm shapes and this volume around it, and then you arrive there in a scale really calm, in my opinion. This is again the volume, you know, and the other volume of the archive, and this is the interior space. You know, it's just reflection. It's a reflections of the inside, of the outside things. Again, another project really difficult. It's a site, difficult site. It's Indonesia. Indonesia, you know, you have these lands. And you have to arrive here. Here is the site. And then this is a hill, which is coming from here and ended here. And you have two rivers, this and this. This is deep, more or less 40 meters. And then you have to first you have to build a bridge, which is going there, and of 65 meters longer. And then you have to put the house here because the owner doesn't have more space. And this is the site. This is the site, you know. It's really amazing because you could walk all around it and arrive to this place. And to put something in the top of the hill, it's really difficult. It's not, you have to be really smart and carefully, and I never wanted. I always, when I have to put something on the top of a hill, I just said, maybe it's better a little bit fall down, because the top of a hill you have to be good, you know. And then this is the landscape that you could see, and this is the most important things. These are the way that they used the interior space. And always you have this kind of, how you say, tables of second floor, you know, or first floor, over the ground. And always you feel inside of a floor, of a ceiling, you know, interior space, floating on the landscape. And that, it's amazing because it produces a sensation of calm, a sensation of to be inside of something that far away from the nature, for the snakes, for the humidity, and into the winds, into the fresh air, you know. And when I have to think about how to put me inside, came to my mind this view of some Japanese structure of 18th century that is done, and we do this exactly. Then we do a bridge. We use a tensegrity structure more or less for the bridge. It's a weird tensegrity structure, and at the same time we put the house just on the hill. Then you have a tunnel, and then you have the bridge, And then you have the swimming pool and the terrace that they are really important. And here you have the space for the living room and kitchen, etc., etc., which is, all of this is a platform. I just use steel structure with some wood structure, but I don't want to have this sensation of, how could I say, wood structure. I don't like too much this bamboo architecture. You really for tourists, I really want to be hard. And this is the bridge, and this is a house, the model that is on process right now. And then you have this. It's a stainless steel roof with a bridge that you could see. This is the house from the other side by afternoon from the bridge. And this is the inside, Again, I repeated exactly what they do it. I mean, it's not about the structure that I copy, of course. It's about the sensation inside. It's more than about something cultural, more than about something about materials or that kind of thing. That is in a second layer of my work. And then here you have in a platform, and in the middle of the platform you could stay just with the fresh air inside. Here there is an hort. You could have your own vegetables. The kitchen here is a freezing area, and then the landscape surrounding. In a rain day, and this is the guest house just down into the hill. Again, the same idea. And this is the last thing that I want to show you. In some moment, County brand asked me to do a watch, and it's not easy. I never use watch, and it's really, but I understand in some moment that I love to use this kind of section, it's a Kiesler Endless theater, and come to me this idea. This is the time, and this is the record of the time. And these sentences is by Laurie Anderson, and she talked about the timing, who one airplane is falling down, and he said the pilot say this is the time and this is the record of the time. And really, it's this amazing way to understand what's mean time, moment, and what's it time, just time forever, And I try to bring two kind of way to understand the timing, the record of the timing. The first time is the hour and minutes, They are digitals, immediate. It is information like, the panel in an airport or in I don't know, the departures and arrivals, or where you want to meet with others, you need the timing really effective in information, in give you the information. They appear the hour and the minutes in the present, and that is really important. Meanwhile, you have the tic-tac of the second-hand marks. It is physical, You could not see here really good, but the tic-tac second-hand mark is here. It's here, It's all around. It has a presence on the watch. Really important. It's not a secondary, and it's physical. That's to say the time is passing. Tic-tac, tic-tac. And it's a little bit cruel, I think. But it's really, I like it. And then this is the watch. I'm thinking in like a urban space, as a crane, two cupolas and another cupola here, and all of these elements in the middle of a lens. Well, after this long minute of silence, thanks a lot.
Da. Așa cum să aprindă lumina ala și studenții să aducă... Da. Uite, acum avem...
Nos vemos mañana. Chao, chao.
Goodbye.